Well, our Minnesota Vikings were at home, full of hope, but the Baltimore Ravens walked out of US Bank Stadium with a 27-19 win. Here's what JJ McCarthy had to say about it.
Obviously, very disappointing to come out U.S. Bank Stadium and leave with a loss, but I felt like there was a lot of good things that we did. 360 yards total offense, 6.6 yards a play or something like that. It was there. We just kept shooting ourselves in the foot, and I take full responsibility for the pre-snap procedural penalties. We got 3 turnovers and just too many things that don't set us up for success, when the clock hits 0. So we just got to go back to work, watch this film, and, really clean up all the little things because that's what hurt us today.
Where did the Vikings go wrong? What moments cost them? How big a deal is this for their season? And yes, we want to hear from you, the fans, who are already sounding frustrated. Because you can't win when you lose the turnover battle and have this many false starts. Will the Vikings rebound, or is this becoming a trend? Here are the fellas to talk about it.
I like that kid a lot, Tony. I know we've talked about him, and he's up there on the podium and one of the very few that, took the loss on himself. And no, he didn't play well, but a lot of Minnesota Vikings didn't play well yesterday. And what's completely inexcusable is here you are, you're at home, you're coming off one of the biggest wins probably in Kevin O'Connell's regular season coaching careers, and the team winning in Detroit for the first time since 2021. You're wanting to build on it. You're only 1-2 at home, so you're figuring you're getting the Ravens at the right time. They're 3-5. Yeah, they're healthy, but they hadn't had any impressive wins. They beat Miami, but Miami is a horrible team because yesterday they weren't when they beat Buffalo. But so you're thinking everything's looking good, we're feeling good, and then yesterday happened, and yeah, it started out. I thought we were like, okay, McCarthy, Naylor, fantastic pass right over the shoulder, perfectly placed. Naylor makes a beautiful play staying in bounds and running it all the way to the 2-yard line. And then Aaron Jones runs it in, which is great because, they did a whole military day tribute where Aaron Jones Sr. and his family were there. And he jumped up. Everyone's happy. I'm happy. I'm in Huntington Beach, dancing around like this is going to be an awesome game, right? This is going to be fantastic. And then the rest of the game happened, Tony. And there were still opportunities. They certainly had opportunities. And then they kept shooting themselves in the foot, as JJ said, with turnovers and penalties. And, there's one person I think we can definitely blame. But yes, cool Papa Bell, 2910. Jetta's definitely looked off. We'll get into that as well because he's definitely one of the Vikings who had an off day yesterday, Tony Bell.
The off day starts at the top, and it starts with the head coach. Okay, it's one thing when your basically rookie quarterback gets up there, puts the blame on himself. But your friggin' head coach, who was coach of the year, it's everybody else's fault except his.
He pointed out the false starts, and then he said, "Oh, we got to work on the cadence." Well, how about you work on your coaching? Get the plays out there that work for a rookie quarterback. Okay, if you're going to point the finger there, KOC, we're going to point it right back at you because that third down efficiency thing there, 3 for 14. That pass plays 47-13 means you're calling the game wrong and you're not helping really second year but rookie quarterback JJ McCarthy to have a chance. The running game was good, Tony. Aaron Jones was running just fine like he did last week. Jordan Mason ran well, but he ran what? 2-3 times? Where was he in that game? Personnel moves. That's your thing, KOC, when you're on offense, right? The defense came to play yesterday. Flores had that defense playing well. They stopped the Ravens. First drive, no points for the first time in like 4 weeks. They held the Ravens to 3 points, second drive, and then they forced the Ravens to punt again. So the first 3 Ravens drives, 3 points. That's a win for Brian Flores when you're talking about all-world quarterback Lamar Jackson. Bosweed, I haven't been this pissed as a Viking.
Bob does that everywhere. Nate Wright fell down. He does that. He knows that gets under my skin. That's why he does it.
But yeah, this is the problem, right? Like they came out well. They came out energetic. We had that. That's what we were asking for. JJ made a huge pass, and then they ran it in from the 2-yard line. They didn't throw it. They ran it in. So you're like, okay, all these things checked early boxes. Defense played really, really well. They were flying around like they did in Detroit. And then penalty, interception, penalty, field goal. And it was just, that's it. I mean, this team constantly shoots itself in the foot, can build no confidence in building something long term. And this is, I'm sorry to say this is on the coaching staff. I mean, we could take some of the players for the woodshed. Absolutely. You want to take Brian O'Neill for 3 false starts? Sure. You want to take J.J. McCarthy for being inaccurate at times and having issues with cadence? Yeah, but they practice that, Tony. They have to. They've got to know their quarterback's cadence by now. And if not, then where does that fall upon? You played the game. You know how that goes. I mean, and to expect a 22-year-old to be the only one to step in front of a podium and take responsibility for the loss, where are the rest of you guys, the veterans, to speak out? I heard what Jetta said after the game. He says, we as a team. Okay. How about you, Jettas? How about you say, I fell down. I let my quarterback down. Fell down on a route. I dropped 2 passes that should have been caught. I take responsibility, man. I let my rookie quarterback down. How about try that? Somebody come to the second-year rookie J.J. McCarthy playing his 4th game, ladies and gentlemen, okay? 4th game, and admit that there's a lot of issues going on here, but most of it, again, and we've said this, Tony, way before anyone else did, balanced offense. That's the key. And as Brian Adams is telling us, what's the purpose of the Vikings to have an offensive coordinator when his hands are tied? Yeah, West Philly.
They're not tied. They were cut off as soon as KLC took this job as head coach. He only took this job because he would get to call the friggin' plays. That's the only reason he did it. Hell, here's the problem. Viking organization, you had a real head coach, wanted to coach you and wanted to be here, and you said no. So guess what? Karma, bitches. It came for you, and it's coming for you big time. And I'm sorry, KLC got coach of the year. It doesn't say shit for the rest of the goddamn league when he gets coach of the year.
Parental discretion advised.
Yes. Antonio as well. What's KOC's record versus the Harbaughs this year? What is it? 0-2.
Oh, can we say 0-2?
Yeah. Okay. Not even being in the game against Jim Harbaugh, the guy you should have hired, getting blown out here in LA. And then yesterday, I mean,
his
brother, a great game and they won.
His brother is the ultimate tease. He let them think they were going to win and beat them.
I guess the only thing we can do, because we're with you and everyone out there, we love the responses. We love you texting in, Brian Adams, Cool Papa. We love it. Keep them coming because we feel your pain, and because we're fans. And every year it seems like we're in the same situation. Bob's weed, fire him now. We suck anyway. Well, it's,
here's a problem.
We've had KOC fired, but they're not going to.
Here's the problem with that. You got an office who has no idea what the hell they're doing in the first place. First of all, they hired this idiot. Then they extended the idiot. Oh. And you've got other idiots who are running the show. Here's an idiot right here with this comment. Can't even draft.
Control perfectly timing on this picture. Apparently, Kwesi said championship teams are not built by panic trades made at the deadline. Of course, the Vikings didn't make any. They are built during the draft.
Which, of course, we cut all our draft choices.
Well, 2023, let's not go there, Kwesi. Let's just not go there. That's a quote you might have rethought because your problem has been drafting guys that are going to make it. All right. I mean, Jordan Addison is the only guy at the top of my head right now that's really shining, right? I
You
mean,
want to know what the funny part about that is, Eric? Think about this. His first ever draft pick was Louis Seen. Louis Seen has something that Kwesi and KOC don't have. And he didn't even play in a damn game. He's got a Super Bowl ring.
Yeah, he does. Isn't that ironic?
Ain't that some oh my God.
And that's what, that's the other aspect that's going to happen here too, right, Tony? Is a lot of these, and some of them already have. Someone put up on a different public site, and I read it, and I'm like, it goes to figure. I think we got some of that, but it's like we cast off people, and it's like, man, this guy's a bust. Like we all thought Ed Ingram was a bust, right? We're like, oh man, guy keeps tripping. Kirk Cousins is quarterback. He's getting beat all the time. Garrett Bradbury stinks. He's Raggedy Ann. Then they go to other franchises, and the weird thing happens is they play well on other franchises. So that leads you to the conclusion, Tony Bell, that it's the coaching that these guys are getting in Minnesota. That's the bottom line.
It's coaching top to bottom. Okay, where was Keenan McCardle getting on these wide receivers yesterday about not getting open? Where's Chris Cooper getting on this offensive line when they're letting pressure through to a rookie quarterback? I don't understand what the hell this team does in practice during the week that they look like crap on Sunday.
They don't do cadence. Apparently, they don't do hut or cadence kind of signals because they don't know what saying.
And another thing too, the cadence. Here's another one too. Communication between KOC and JJ during the game. Remember, we went through this in 2023 with Kurt and. Yes, exactly. With Kurt and KOC, he wasn't getting the plays in time, and he threw Kurt under the bus.
And I remember, I was so with Kirk Cousins, he was so irate. And for Kirk's obviously, as many Viking fans know, Kirk's is a godly guy. He doesn't like to swear. He doesn't like to lose his temper, right?
Yeah.
And he came off the sideline, and he just was like,
that was the most emotional.
Effing freaking play to me. What the hell are we doing? And I was with Kirk because, and this is what we're seeing with a young quarterback. He's audibleizing. Okay, maybe, and I said to you, the positive of this is maybe Kevin O'Connell is confident enough that JJ can do that. JJ can run the deep 5 to 6 drop, can throw it deep, can audibleize, but that's a lot of pressure to put on a young guy. And the reason why we know it didn't work, because the Vikings, believe it or not, for as bad as they played yesterday, for the amount of penalties, 13 penalties for 102 yards, the 8 false starts, the Ravens really didn't do anything to blow them away and kick them back the ball with over a minute and 50 seconds left, okay? Mm-hmm. A minute 50 seconds left, and we're not even getting to the 2-point conversion. We can't, because why did he go for 2 points there? What are you thinking? Oh, well, the analytics say that you should go for 2 points here. You have
what? Forget that 2-point play.
That's what Kevin Cooper said. I'm like, Kevin, shut up.
Why don't you run the goddamn ball on 3rd and 2? Run the motherfucking ball on 3rd and 2. You've got Jordan Mason. You've got Aaron Jones. You've got friggin' 10 tight ends on your goddamn roster. You got extra linemen you can put up there to block. It's 2 fucking yards.
If you can't get 2 yards on 2 plays, then you deserve to
lose. If you can't get 2 yards in football, your ass needs to be fired.
Now, I know Kevin O'Connell was a little gun shy after last year. The offensive line had its problems last year. But you had a whole year that Kwesi went out with the help of Griggy and got you 3 offensive linemen, a first-round pick, a left guard, and Jackson, and he got you Ryan Kelly, and he got you Will Fries. So the offensive line was rebuilt, but you still don't run the football. And you got Aaron Jones Sr. healthy, and you got Jordan Mason, who's a ghost out there, Tony Bell.
And here's a problem with that. You signed 3 offensive linemen. Donovan played even with a messed up wrist.
Yeah, I played hurt.
But then you spent money on damaged goods in Fries and Kelly.
Yes.
Well, but yeah,
Crying.
here's the thing. Quality Control's team has turned Garrett Bradbury into friggin' Mick Tingelhoff, and now he's like the best center in all of friggin' football.
Oh, and they're 8-2, and they have their next franchise quarterback. Must be wonderful. I don't know. We have to sit here and just figure out why. Why?
Sit here and figure out why this friggin' franchise is so inept at football. It's a football team that's inept at football.
I have to go to the Buddhist village. I have to go to the holiest of churches and pray to God, please, somehow, some way, give us 1 year for our beloved Minnesota. Somewhere, some synagogue, some church, some Buddhist village, whatever religious denomination you are, we all must pray and figure out a way. Brian Adams.
No, he did not call play for the Rams. He did not. That was all Sean McVay. He never called any team that KOC has been on. He has never called plays.
Yeah.
He
had some great coaches. He had some great mentors to learn from. No question about that. Going back to Bill Belichick, going to Gruden and Shanahan, going to
did he not pay attention or listen to any of them?
Yes, he didn't. That they actually run the ball. They might be considered offensive gurus, but Kyle Shanahan runs the ball a lot with Christian McCaffrey. You might notice that McVay runs the ball with Kyren Williams. And, oh, my God, Tony Bell, who's the best team in the NFC, really? When you look at it, if you were going to pick a team to be in the Super Bowl, well, who's the best football team right now in the NFC?
Well, I know who it ain't. That's Minnesota.
Yeah. The LA Rams, maybe? Are the Rams?
Yeah, the Rams. And guess what Sean McVay's doing? Running the ball.
Yeah, and guess what? Matthew Stafford doesn't have to throw the ball on 3rd and short. He can hand it off to Kyren Williams and play smart. And then he finds his open receivers because Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams actually hustle and bust their balls every play. And they happen to also make their conversions on 3rd and 2 because they run, and then the defense pulls up. And when you run the ball effectively, then you can throw to Puka and Devontae and put the big numbers up. That's just something we all know. That's just like how football is.
Eric, you're talking about football 101. Come on.
Logic.
Yeah.
Logic. Run to set up the pass. Yes, you can mix it up. I don't mind it. You could throw on 1st down. That's smart sometimes. It's smart. If they're going to bully up on the line.
Here's the thing. Here's what bothered me. The call for the long ball, not a problem. Here's the problem. It's 3rd and 2. Get the 1st down first, then launch it.
Right.
If you
and I like seeing that. Listen, That was actually a good play call. The one in which Jetta's tripped or fell, that play would have worked. That play was right. Even though it was 3rd down, it would have worked because the ball was perfectly placed. Jettis just fell down, and the cornerback had an easy interception.
But you should have.
It would have worked.
But you should have. They should have just run the. You'd have Mason in there the whole damn game up until then. You should. And Jones was getting the yards. They were on the drive. Who was getting the yards? Aaron Jones.
Well, what was even worse is we go back to the game out here in LA with Carson Wentz, right? And it was 3rd and 1. And Carson Wentz was asked to drop back, 5-6 step drop. And they threw a bomb just like they did it. It's becoming predictable with the Vikings. Like, I know when it's 3rd and 1, Tony, that KOC's probably got some 15 to 30 yard play down the field called.
Well, like I said,
we'll take a penalty, or we'll throw an interception, or it'll be 4th and 1, and then he punts. He's not even aggressive enough to go for it on 4th and 1. They're the lowest team in the NFL to go for it on 4th and 1. So how gutsy are you, KOC? If you're dialing up 3rd and 2, I'm going to show them. Well, you better have a play ready for 4th and 2, or else you look like a fool.
And I've told people, because everybody's like, well, next year they can draft a running back. I'm like, okay, why would you draft for a position that KOC doesn't use?
Jordan Love would look awfully good in any color of uniform. Vikings, yes, but he'll get the ball maybe 10 times a game. And then what? He's got to become a receiver because that's the only thing that KOC likes to do. He likes to have elongated plays. Here's the other stat, and that sets me up perfectly for these stats. And they're geeky. Stats are geeky. They don't tell the whole story. We know that. PFF is often wrong sometimes on their grades. But this stat just absolutely is mind-numbing. I think I told you this, and it just made me absolutely realize that our head coach is just having one of the worst years ever play calling. The Minnesota Vikings on 3rd and short, when they do run the ball, Tony, what you said that they should do when they've done it, 10 out of 14 conversion rate. That's a nice statistic. You know what's not? It's 4 out of 19 when you're throwing it on 3rd and short. So on 3rd and short, which could be 3-2 to 1 yard, KOC has dialed up 19 passes to 14 runs, and he has a 4 completion ratio. So he's 15 of those plays haven't worked. And then he's run the ball, and 10 of the 14 have worked. Do you not think that would sink into him that maybe I should just keep feeding the rock?
I don't think he cares. Here's the thing. He's doing something now that he wasn't allowed to do with his other teams. He's got complete and total control. He can call whatever play, and nobody's gonna argue with him. Nobody's gonna fight with him. Nobody's gonna be like, well, we're taking away your duties like Dan Campbell did to Morton yesterday. Nobody's gonna do that because why? He's the head coach.
Unbelievable. Bob's weed, KOC was bottle fed when he was young. It's effective. I don't know. There's no common sense. And it's as if he's trying to outthink. Listen, I don't know how the defense is set up. I really didn't pay. Ravens might have pulled guys up. But you know what? So what? Go jump on package.
Here's the thing. Everybody's like, well, the defense is doing this. It's still the simple case of blocking and tackling. They can know your whole playbook. They still got to stop you.
Or maybe do what the Ravens did. Did you see what the Ravens did? They had Derrick Henry pitch Lamar Jackson getting a first down on 3rd and short. And that might have been a 4th down play. I think they went for it.
I think that was the one where Mark Andrews lined up.
That was the one where Lamar literally saved a bad he's an amazing athlete, Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, no panic, and then I'm going to run for our 5 or 6 yards.
Let's be honest.
They're running.
The Ravens did nothing special to win that game.
No. Vikings did everything to lose.
Minnesota did everything wrong to lose that game.
Another winnable game for the Vikings that they let pass by. And this is the other aspect before we get to our good, our bad, and our ugly, and then we do our final thoughts. Is this. The Vikings have done one thing, and they've showed it to us repeatedly, Tony. They're just inconsistently consistent, and they can't build off success. For all the success that was built last week in Detroit and got us all feeling really good, they completely wasted that by showing up and playing the way that they did yesterday. And statistics are nice, and JJ said, well, we did some good things, 6 yards of play. Well, yeah, but you did more bad things. And the bad things are you can't turn the ball over and lose the turnover battle. Did the Ravens turn the ball over yesterday? I'm trying to know.
No, they didn't.
0. Winning. So if you don't turn the ball over and you play meh, you can win.
Vikings
and the defense, listen, to Brian Flores' credit, for 2 weeks in a row, he faced Jamar Gibbs and David Montgomery. And he faced arguably the biggest assassin at the running back position in our game today, our Earl Campbell of this era, and Derrick Henry, and held him to 75 yards. And Lamar Jackson threw for, 200 yards?
Yeah, it wasn't.
He didn't even run. He didn't even run that much.
But
it was there. The game was there to be won.
Once again,
lose another opportunity.
For another, what is this, like, this is 3 out of 4 weeks. This defense did not get a turnover.
Not the only thing that Flores' defense hasn't done is get turnovers. I think they're playing better. They're healthy. Unfortunately, Grenard got hurt yesterday. I don't know if he'll miss.
Oh, mister, I missed 2 sacks every game. Who's going to miss him now? Who cares? He can't hit anybody.
Lamar was so smooth, though. Lamar was so smooth on that step. He's just
he's not. I mean, come on. When you got the man wrapping up.
No excuses. Grenard.
Here's the thing. I don't want to hear any more hate on Dallas Turner, okay? You keep your Dallas Turner hate to yourself. Or better yet, why don't you go out there and play the position if you can do it better?
Did they get some memorandum? Did Sean Hockley and the rest get some memorandum, Tony, about calling more weight on quarterback sacks? Because I saw another game, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Stop pussyfooting.
It's the NFL where It's the NFL where they're protecting the quarterbacks way too much.
I mean,
To the point of
what's the guy to do when he grabs you oh, wait, hold on. Just stay there. And when I bring it down, I'm going to go slink to the side a little bit.
But here's the thing, though.
Land on
Here's
you.
the thing. It was Lamar Jackson. If it was, say, Huntley to back up, that sack stays.
Yeah, but JJ got one last week. The Detroit one, the same thing.
Yeah, which I was really shocked at that. But they got that lame ass leg whip on Hutchinson too, which there were 2 ticky-tack penalties, but the whole quarterback thing with the weight on the quarterback, come on.
Yeah.
What 300-pound lineman is going to be able to twist his body after hitting? Come on.
Yeah. I mean, listen, the refs really didn't lose the game for it. We lost the game. It's plain and simple.
And I'm not blaming the refs. The Vikings,
exactly. Yeah.
The Vikings as a team lost this game from top to bottom. They lost this on their own.
Coaching.
The refs just added insult to injury with all the penalties.
Insult to injury. Exactly. Right. I mean, the Vikings got a questionable pass interference late, and Jefferson got the benefit of that. And
you know why? Because they had already called like 13 penalties on the Vikings and only 1 on the Ravens, and that was like a false start.
Discrepancies. There was one time where they had the Vikings had 10 penalties, the Ravens had 1, and I'm like, well, one's a smart team, has a Harbaugh as a coach. We've got Kevin O'Connell, so maybe that's just a little aspect of the coaching there that goes into it. And Tony, another thing, really quickly. The Vikings get the ball back, 27-19 down. Should have been 27-20, but we already talked about stupid 2-point conversion attempt by Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings. So it's 27-19. There's a minute and like 50 seconds left. What was with those play calls? What? They wasted 20 seconds. Again, you're talking about when Kirko did this. JJ's not doing that. He's waiting for the play. They have no timeouts left, and the clock's like tick, tick, tick. Kevin O'Connell, what are you doing? Have these plays set in advance.
Here's the funny part. Kevin O'Connell will get away with that because JJ's basically playing his 4th game. With a veteran quarterback, they're going to be like, what the F are you doing? Where's the play?
Could you imagine if Aaron Rodgers or even Joe Flacco were sitting there with the clock ticking because your quarterback had to bail out and throw a ball, and that was after 2 runs. It was like that time was like 50 seconds. Still 50 seconds. You still got time to make some plays. 20 seconds is rolling off.
Yeah. I think with both of those two, though, especially with Rodgers, they would have said F it and called their own play.
They would have called their own play. Aaron Rodgers would have called.
Aaron Rodgers for sure.
Fuck you. Go away. Yeah, I got it. Let's go.
You know what? I'm doing this longer than you.
Maybe that's it. Maybe now I think we should have signed Aaron. After that, maybe because remember Favre did that with Childress. Like, whatever. I'll make sure we score points here. Don't you worry about it. All right. So for good, bad, and ugly, Tony Bell, very simple for me. Good, Jalen Naylor. That's his best game as a Viking, I think, by far. Bad, we've already talked about it. I think coaching. Ugly. When you look at the standings in the NFC, the fact that we're in last place is horrible. But even worse, they're 1-3 at home, Tony Bell. And that there's no way you're going to the playoffs if you continue to play 1-3 football at home. So that's absolutely.
How do you? And this is this. I was going to call him Childress. This falls on KOC. How do you not win at home? You brag about the crowd. It's your home turf. And you play your worst football. The only game you won, which I was there, was you played a more inept Cincinnati team than you.
Yeah.
But against anybody else, I mean, you've looked like crap.
It comes after the fact, right? It comes after the fact, Tony. After J.J. McCarthy has a stunning 4th quarter in Chicago, you beat your divisional rival on prime time, heading home, and you lay the biggest egg of all against the Atlanta Falcons.
And let's put this out there, too. Next week is the Bears.
Yeah.
That stadium is going to be damn near 50-50.
Oh, no question. And what the Bears are doing, and here's the other aspect of it, okay? What I want you all to do, when you look at Caleb Williams and the development and what kind of offense that Ben Johnson's running for him, when you look at Drake May, quality control knows this, when you look at how Josh McDaniels is running the offense for him, before he got hurt, Jaden Daniels, what was Cliff Kingsbury doing? He's running an offense very Jaden Daniels heavy. Bo Nix, Sean Payton, same thing. So even when Bo Nix struggles, Broncos still have a chance to win. They have a great defense, okay? So what's going on with J.J. McCarthy? Why is this not happening? It did last week, Tony Bell, and I don't understand why it didn't happen this week. Was J.J. McCarthy in shotgun at all yesterday that you can recall?
No, they had him right back under center.
Were there any RPOs that you saw, stuff that he did at Michigan and he did at a very high level?
No.
We saw it in Detroit. Worked very well the first drive.
You would have thought. I'll tell you what. You would have thought if it wasn't the way that the play calling was set up, you would have thought he was playing. You would have thought he had Nick Mullins at quarterback.
Yeah.
Because once again, JJ was under center, very seldom in shotgun, very seldom in pistol. He just kind of went away from what worked last week.
Yeah. Brian Adams, how the heck did KOC get this job? Well, they didn't hire Jim Harbaugh is how he got it.
They didn't hire Jim Harbaugh. At the time, KOC was like the hot commodity, like Brad Childress was.
Yep.
Like Brad Childress, KOC never called the plays in LA.
No.
But LA was coming off winning the Super Bowl, so O'Connell was the hot commodity.
Yeah,
but he never called a play, never set up a game plan or nothing like that. That was Sean McVay.
Yeah. And when they get off to a bad start, Tony, and you're talking about the first 15 plays scripted, and they don't do well on those first 15 plays, that's major trouble because when he tries to coach off script, so he's having to come up with these plays, that's when he tends to go to what things he's most comfortable with, which is calling elongated curls or slants deep, posts deep, and not short, which you should when you have a young quarterback to build up the confidence. Where are those quick slants? Where's getting rid of the ball quickly? Get the defense to think a little differently.
And what is it with these wide receivers? They're not working their way open.
That is a major issue, Tony Bell. That is something that, I mean,
where was TJ?
And then unfortunately, when Jettis did get open, McCarthy throws these balloon too hard, and
you know what it is? He's forcing plays. He doesn't have a touch. He's a rookie. He's literally a rookie.
But also, Tony, elongated plays allows a defense to get into the quarterback quicker. Yeah. And by that time, JJ's got to throw it on. He had 3 passes batted down. He's got to throw it with a guy right in his freaking face. Yeah. So he might not be seeing the receiver. Although the Justin Jefferson one, that was one of the plays JJ just decided to roll out for himself, and he just didn't set his feet, and he overthrew it. He was too excited. Not enough touch. Not enough. Just I could take a little off. Let me just get it to my guy. And then I'll let him do the rest. Jalen Naylor, he did it. Jalen Naylor threw it right over his shoulder. Beautiful touch. He did it last week in Detroit on 3rd and 5. Unfortunately, it's just not a consistent thing with him. And the only way he's going to get that is if somehow he's not having to throw the ball 48 times a game, just like KOC did when he had Kirko, just like he did various other quarterbacks. Let's throw the ball. We're behind. I got to throw the ball every play, and then you don't go to the running game, and then your offensive line has to be really good at pass blocking every play, or else.
And the 1 week where the Viking defense does not allow a scoring drive on the first series.
Yeah. I was so overconfident. I was like, "This is going to be a great."
It's like the offense scores on their first drive, the defense doesn't allow a score on their first drive. And it all goes to shit because your offensive coordinator, play caller / head coach can't call a good game.
He's anti-running the football. Or he'll use the excuse, we got penalties, and then it took me out of my running play. Really? Took you out of your running play. You had 13 runs called, 48 passes, right? So come on now. Draft a quarterback every year. We might be in that situation.
We're probably going to be in that situation.
We're probably going to be drafting a quarterback. And then JJ's going to go.
Here's the thing, though. What sense is drafting a QB every year when you've got an idiot for play caller? He's not a quarterback whisperer.
Tony, this is the same guy who said organizations fail their quarterbacks more than the young quarterback fails them. Well, you are failing epically.
That's a little bit of projection there, KOC.
A young quarterback's going to be there's a pendulum. It's going to swing, and we're on the swinging. 1 week, JJ is going to be really good. Another week, it's going to look like yesterday. 1 week, it's going to look like fourth quarter comeback against Chicago. Next, it's going to be Atlanta. And just
we're
good.
Going through 2023 all over again.
Yes, I think you're absolutely 100% correct.
So now, if this thing plays out to script, we should win next week.
They should. They're at home. They got a chance for a sweep. They have, and this is the other aspect of it is. And then Kevin O'Connell's going to lead every one of his. You watch. All listen to his press conference this week. He's going to say this to try to spin the positive. Okay, he's going to say, "We've got a great opportunity at our fantastic stadium at US Bank Stadium to go 3-0 in the division." And you're 1-3 at home, coach.
You got a great opportunity to friggin' make yourselves look like idiots in your home turf in front of a crowd that's going to be 50-50.
Oh, yeah, because he's Mr. Positive, but yet he has no idea how to call a professional football game. And if you need – I mean, it's just – look at some games last year, even last year. Detroit. You want to go back to the infamous game, the one that said was the greatest divisional – game ever with so much on the line, a number one seed on the line. What didn't he do when they had the ball down on the Lions goal line? What didn't he do? And what didn't the Vikings do? They didn't run the freaking football. And
you want to know what's funny? How did they get down there on a long run by Cam Akers?
Yeah.
By the way, is he still with the team?
I'm not even sure. For him, I hope he's not, because he'll get an opportunity to play if he's on some other team. I mean, being a running back, Jordan Mason's got to be barking somewhere. Jordan Mason
will be on another team next year.
Yeah, I think so.
And it would not shock me if he is on the team that Brian Flores is coaching.
Yeah, and because he's a good running back. You got to split the ball too between him and Aaron Jones Sr. You got to. It's about two-headed running backs these days. Look at all throughout the league. You want to see who's doing well? Look at the teams, how they're doing their running. But they're running the football. That's the difference. They will run the football. Our guy, not so much. He's pass happy.
You got to have an offensive coordinator that's willing to run the ball. We have.
So when you sit there and go, oh, McCarthy, he's thrown 2 interceptions. Well, yeah, you know what? You're gonna throw more interceptions when you're throwing 45, 48 passes a freaking game.
Here's the thing. This is a funny thing. Bill Walsh said it best. When you pass the ball, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad.
It is. For Bill Walsh, the master of the West Coast offense. One of the greats. Yep. You know? And what did Bill Walsh master at, Tony, in the passing game was what? Short
passes to the running backs.
Short passes.
But where did he get that from? Jerry Burns.
And Jerry Burns, absolutely.
He got it from Jerry. It's like a Viking tradition.
Jerry Burns was very happy with Darren Nelson. Loved Darren Nelson. And then they brought Herschel Walker in. Then he had to change his offense to an I formation. And then we know the rest of that story.
Well, if you were going to, back then, if you were going to play running back for the Vikings, you had to catch the football. Because they were going to throw
Herschel
you.
Was a good receiver. Herschel was a good receiver, though. There's no doubt.
Yeah,
actually,
he was a good receiver.
At the end of his career, I think he was a better receiving back than a running back because his legs were.
Yeah.
He's still good out of the backfield as a receiver.
And even before we got Chuck Foreman, you still had Bill Brown and Dave Osborne that could catch. But then once we got Chuck Foreman, that really opened up the offense. That helped change the Viking offense altogether.
That changed how football was even played. Yeah. That's how much you can credit Jerry Burns and the Vikings and Bud Grant and the Bill Walshes. They changed how football's become more of a passing game because of those strategies, the West Coast.
But offense. What did they still do?
What do we not do, Tony? We asked JJ McCarthy for the most elongated passes. Get this. I looked this up. I thought it was Baker Mayfield, maybe Patrick Mahomes, a veteran, Jalen Hurts, throwing more passes. So how this would look, how many passes you throw, you average it out. So some could be 2, some, and then they give you a total line ball in the air, right?
Yeah.
Who's number 1? Not Baker Mayfield. I thought so. Maybe Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was up there. Baker Mayfield was up there. Drake
I would
May.
have figured Josh Allen.
Drake May, yeah, up there. Josh Allen, yeah. But Josh does a lot of slants. They do a lot of slants.
Yeah.
Receiver does the dirty work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he throws it to Cook. Smart.
Yeah.
What are we asking our guy to do? No, we're going to have you drop back, JJ, 5 to 6 steps, and then throw passes 15 to 20 yards in the air where the ball can be intercepted, or 40 yards, maybe 60 on 3rd and 1. Let's throw 150 to 60 yards. It makes so much sense. No, it does not. So JJ McCarthy, 10.5 something, most elongated ball in the air, which means there's going to be more interceptions because a rookie doesn't see the safeties like he did in college, be able to read your eyes and come
Also,
over quickly.
More interceptions, also more sacks, because guess what? You got to hold your blocks longer.
Yeah, no. Oh, well, he's holding the ball too long. Well, yeah, because his freaking coach is calling plays. And to top that off, Tony, his receivers aren't even getting open all the time. I saw one on the interception. It should have been an interception, and it wasn't. But the ball hit the ground. That was the play where Quantum Smith, right, had it, and then the ball hit the turf.
That was Roquan Smith.
And wasn't he trying to get TJ? Was it TJ? And TJ was not.
It was Aaron Jones.
It was Aaron Jones. Thank you.
Aaron Jones.
But I looked at the other receivers. They showed a high view of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was open on that play. Nowhere to go at all. And you're forcing your quarterback because you want to throw the football more and more. It's going to happen. He's going to struggle. Guess what? Peyton Manning threw 27 interceptions his rookie year. Kind of turned out okay for him, right? Yeah. Josh Allen was called an inaccurate quarterback. Ooh, let's get rid of him the next year, right? Let's just get rid of Josh Allen. He's inaccurate and throws a lot of interceptions. How did he turn out? Yeah, pretty dang good.
And let's not draft him on our fantasy football team.
Whatever. Did you really have to chime in there? We got Drake London. We got Drake London, who happens to be one of the top receivers in football. All right. All right. She's still pissed we don't have Josh Allen. Anyways, on that note, Tony Bell, we will be back later this week at some bad time, some bad channel. Most likely Friday. I don't know. We'll get to you to preview a possible chance at a sweep against the Bears, another chance at home to right the wrongs when the Bears and Vikings play next week.
Don't hold your breath, people, is all I'm going to say. Don't hold your breath.
That, we bid you adieu. Have a wonderful Monday night. Enjoy the game between the Eagles and Packers. And Tony Bell, for the faithful, Skol.
Thanks for watching our official Purple Skull Squad show for Minnesota Vikings fans. The fellas will be back to preview the big NFC North with the Chicago Bears at home as the Minnesota Vikings look to go for a sweep. Don't forget, tell your friends about us and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Skol!